Yo, ever just chilling at the beach watching the waves? Like totally zoned out? It's one of those moments where everything just feels right. The sun on your skin, the sound of the waves crashing, and the sand between your toes. But have you ever wondered what's happening beneath that sand? Well, down there, under all that sand, it's a whole different world. Crazy stuff going on. It's like an underwater metropolis, bustling with life and activity. Tiny creatures, each with their own unique roles and stories, are living out their lives in ways we can barely imagine. We're talking tiny creatures living their best lives. One of them, the pink razor shell. This little guy might look unassuming, but it's a fascinating creature with some pretty cool tricks up its sleeve. It's not just a clam, it's a master of survival in the sandy depths. Don't let the name fool you, this ain't no ordinary clam. The pink razor shell has adapted to its environment in some incredible ways. It can burrow deep into the sand to avoid predators, and it has a unique siphon that helps it filter food from the water. It's like a little engineer, constantly working to stay safe and fed. It's got a story to tell. Imagine living your whole life beneath the sand, hidden from view, yet playing a crucial role in the ecosystem. The pink razor shell is a key player in maintaining the health of the ocean floor, filtering water and providing a habitat for other tiny creatures. So, let's dive in and check out these awesome little dudes. By exploring their world, we can learn so much about the delicate balance of marine ecosystems and the incredible adaptations that allow life to thrive in even the most unexpected places. The next time you're at the beach, take a moment to think about the hidden lives beneath your feet. It's a reminder of how much there is to discover even in the most familiar places. These pink razor shells, or Ensis directus if you want to get fancy, hang out on sandy beaches all over Europe and North America. They are a fascinating species, known for their elongated, smooth, and slightly curved shells that can grow up to 20 centimeters in length. These shells are often found partially buried in the sand, with just the tips visible, making them a delightful find for beachcombers and shell collectors alike. These razor shells thrive in a variety of beach environments, from the serene and calm shores to the more bustling and lively ones. They are particularly abundant in areas where the sand is fine and clean, as this type of substrate allows them to burrow easily and find food. The pink hue of their shells adds a touch of color to the otherwise monochromatic sandy beaches, making them stand out and catch the eye of anyone strolling by. They like the rougher sand, not like those picky clams. The rougher sand provides a more stable environment for them to anchor themselves and avoid being washed away by the tides. This type of sand also tends to have more organic material, which serves as a food source for these filter feeders. Unlike clams, which prefer finer, more uniform sand, pink razor shells are adaptable and can thrive in a variety of conditions, and these beaches, always changing thanks to the wind and waves, are like the perfect crib for these guys. The constant movement of the sand and water helps to keep the environment dynamic and rich in nutrients, which is essential for the survival of pink razor shells. The waves also help to oxygenate the water, making it easier for these shellfish to breathe and thrive. The ever-changing landscape of these beaches ensures that there is always something new for the razor shells to explore and adapt to. Cozy spots near reefs, rocks, and islands. That's where the party's at. These areas provide additional shelter and protection from predators, as well as a more diverse range of food sources. The presence of reefs and rocks also helps to break up the force of the waves, creating calmer areas where the razor shells can settle and thrive. The proximity to islands means that there is often a greater variety of marine life in the area, which can lead to more opportunities for the razor shells to find food and mates. They even form these massive groups called beds. These beds can cover large areas of the beach, and can consist of thousands of individual shells. The formation of these beds is a survival strategy, as it helps to protect the individual shells from predators and environmental stresses. By clustering together, the razor shells can create a more stable and secure environment for themselves. These beds also make it easier for the shells to reproduce, as they are in close proximity to potential mates. It's like a shellfish slumber party. These beds are not just functional, but they also create a sense of community among the razor shells. The close proximity of the shells allows them to communicate and interact with each other, which can lead to more successful feeding and reproduction. The beds also provide a safe haven for juvenile shells, giving them a better chance of surviving to adulthood. So next time you're walking along a beach, and you come across a bed of pink razor shells, Take a moment to appreciate the complex and fascinating world of these amazing creatures. These pink razor shells are like the ninjas of the sand. They blend in so well with their surroundings that you might not even notice them at first glance. Their delicate pink hue and sleek shape make them look almost like pieces of art scattered across the beach. But don't be fooled by their appearance. These little creatures are masters of survival. They can dig like nobody's business, super fast, super smooth. Their secret? It's all in their unique anatomy and the way they use it. These shellfish have evolved over millions of years to perfect their digging technique, allowing them to escape predators and find food with incredible efficiency. When you see them in action, it's like watching a well-rehearsed dance. A strong foot and this crazy six-step digging move. The foot, also known as a muscular foot, is incredibly powerful and flexible. It acts like a shovel, pushing into the sand and creating a space for the shellfish to move into. The six-step digging move is a series of coordinated actions that involve extending the foot, anchoring it in the sand, and then pulling the rest of the body forward. It's a fascinating process that showcases the ingenuity of nature. They stretch and pull their foot, using it to anchor themselves firmly in the sand. This anchoring is crucial because it allows them to create a stable base from which they can continue their digging. Without this step, they would be unable to move efficiently through the sand. The foot's flexibility and strength are key to this process, enabling the shellfish to maneuver through even the toughest sand. Open and close their shells, which helps them to create a vacuum that pulls them deeper into the sand. This action is not just about movement, it's also about protection. By closing their shells, they can shield themselves from potential threats and create a more streamlined shape that makes it easier to dig. The opening and closing of the shell is a rhythmic motion that is perfectly synchronized with the movements of the foot, and even shoot out water to loosen the sand. This water jetting action is like a mini excavation tool, helping to break up the sand and make it easier for the shellfish to move through. It's a clever adaptation that allows them to dig more efficiently and with less effort. The water jet is powerful enough to dislodge sand particles, creating a pathway for the shellfish to follow. It's like a magic trick. Poof, they're gone. One moment they're there, and the next, they've vanished beneath the sand. This rapid burrowing is a survival mechanism that helps them avoid predators and stay safe. It's truly amazing to see how quickly and efficiently they can disappear from sight. The combination of their digging techniques and their ability to blend in with their surroundings makes them one of the most fascinating creatures on the beach. Just because they live underground doesn't mean they're lazy. These guys are always eating. They're filter feeders, which means they're like the ocean's cleanup crew. They got these things called siphons, like little straws that suck up seawater and filter out tiny plankton, so they eat and help keep the ocean clean. Talk about multitasking. Okay, get this, pink razor shells switch genders. Yeah, you heard that right. They start out as dudes and then turn into ladies. It's called being a protandric hermaphrodite, but let's just call it a shellfish gender bender. This way there are always enough boys and girls to make more baby razor shells. Pretty slick, huh? These pink razor shells, or spoots as they call them in Scotland, are pretty tasty too. Fancy restaurants and little beach shacks love them. They got a nice flavor and a good chew. People dig them up by hand, looking for their little keyhole-shaped burrows in the sand. Even though these guys are tough, they're facing some serious problems, mostly because of us humans. Messing up their homes, polluting the water, and changing the climate. And then there's overfishing, which is like taking way too many of them from the ocean. Not cool, guys. We gotta do something to help these little dudes. Things like fishing less, using better fishing gear, and making safe zones in the ocean where they can chill without worrying about getting scooped up. These pink razor shells show us how amazing the ocean really is. They might be small, but they're super important. By learning about them and taking care of their home, we can make sure they stick around for a long time. Let's keep their hidden world awesome.